Hello friends, welcome to our history channel, where we unearth the secrets of the past to understand the present. Today, we will dive into one of the greatest and most tragic chapters of human history, the fall of the Roman Empire. How did an empire that stretched from Britain to Egypt, and from Spain to Mesopotamia, turn into ruins? Why did the eternal city of Rome fail to withstand the onslaught of time? We will break down the causes of this collapse and its consequences, which still shape our world today. If you love stories about empires, wars, and lessons from the past, subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on the bell. Let's begin. The Roman Empire reached its zenith in the 2nd century AD during the reign of the five good emperors, from Nerva to Marcus Aurelius. This was a time of prosperity. Roads connected provinces, aqueducts carried water, and legions protected the borders. The empire controlled over 5 million square kilometers and 60 million inhabitants. But even then, the first signs of trouble appeared. Firstly, economic difficulties. Rome depended on conquests. New territories brought slaves, gold, and taxes. When expansion stopped at the Rhine, the Danube, and in the deserts of the east, the empire lost its source of wealth. Inflation ate away at the currency. Emperors like Nero reduced the silver content in denarii to pay the army. By the 3rd century, the denarius was worth 50 times less than before. Farmers abandoned their lands due to high taxes, and cities starved. Next is political instability. After Marcus Aurelius, the crisis of the 3rd century began. Emperors changed like gloves. From 235 to 285 AD, there were over 20 rulers, most of whom were murdered. The Praetorian Guard, the elite security force, dictated terms, selling the throne to the highest bidder. This led to civil wars where legions fought each other instead of defending the borders. And let's not forget military problems. Roman legions were once invincible, but barbarians, Goths, Vandals, Huns, pressed from the north. Attila, the scourge of God, terrorized Europe in the 5th century. Rome was forced to hire barbarians as foederati, allies, but they often turned against their masters. The legions lost discipline. Soldiers were more loyal to their generals than to Rome. However, the fall was not due to external enemies alone. Internal wounds were deeper. Social changes. Slavery exhausted the economy because slaves had no incentive to work. Wealthy patricians accumulated land, while poor peasants became coloni, essentially serfs. Cities grew, but poverty bred crime and epidemics. The Antonine Plague 165 to 180 AD killed millions, weakening the empire. The religious factor. Christianity, initially persecuted, became the state religion under Constantine in 313 AD. This united the people but also divided them. Heresies, such as Arianism, caused conflicts. Pagan traditions faded, and with them, the old Roman valor. Administrative division. In 285 AD, Diocletian divided the empire into 4 parts for better management, and Constantine founded Constantinople as the new capital in 330 AD. This saved the Eastern Empire Byzantium, but the western part remained vulnerable. Rome was no longer the center. Power shifted to the east, where the economy was stronger. The emperors weakened. The last ones, like Romulus Augustulus, were puppets of barbarian generals. In 410 AD, the Visigoths under Alaric sacked Rome, a shock to the world. The Eternal City fell for the first time in 800 years. The end came in 476 AD. The barbarian Odoacer deposed the last emperor of the Western Roman Empire, Romulus Augustulus, and proclaimed himself king of Italy. This is the date historians consider the official fall. But why then? It was a combination of all factors: economic collapse, military weakness, political chaos, and barbarian invasions. Now for the consequences. The fall of Rome initiated the Middle Ages, the Dark Ages for Europe. Trade declined, cities emptied, and knowledge was lost. Barbarian kingdoms, the Ostrogoths in Italy, the Vandals in Africa, the Franks in Gaul, divided the territory. But the Roman legacy survived. Latin evolved into the Romance languages: French, Spanish, Italian. Roman law influenced modern systems, and Christianity became the foundation of European culture. In the East, the Byzantine Empire survived for another 1,000 years, preserving Roman traditions. Justinian in the 6th century codified laws, built the Hagia Sophia, and tried to restore the West, but the fall of Rome taught the world, no empire is eternal. It showed the dangers of centralized power, dependence on conquest, and ignoring social issues. Modern parallels: think about empires today, economic crises, migrations, political divisions. History repeats itself if we do not learn. So, the fall of the Roman Empire is not just the end of an era, but a lesson on the fragility of power. Causes: economic decline, political instability, military defeats, social changes, and barbarian invasions. Consequences: the birth of feudal Europe, the preservation of legacy in Byzantium, and the impact on the modern world. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, like it and comment. Which cause, in your opinion, was the main one? Subscribe for more historical stories. See you in the next video.